All right, we're rolling.
All right.
So first, let's get introductions out the way. So my name is Gerardo Jaime. My YouTube channel is GJ2000. That's how you guys can look me up. And I'm sitting down here with Roach, 087 Roach, former rapper, now TikTok star. Any other accomplishments you wanna maybe?
Well, like I said, I'm 087 Roach. I'm from East Oakland and born and raised. And some accomplishments I got throughout the years is just like, like he said, just doing music. I've been on tour with SOBRBE. I've been signed to Empire. I just been around, the music industry. I've been around the studio. I've been around music videos. I've been around like commercials, all that. So like you say, I'm just doing my thing, man. Just trying to keep pushing and going forward.
First of all, I would like to say thank you for agreeing to this interview with me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to sit with me. I appreciate that.
No worries, it's an honor, bro.
Likewise.
Yes, sir.
So if it's cool with you, I got some questions.
It's all good, yeah, come on.
What's your go-to favorite shoe right now that you have in rotation? Like that you wear every couple of weeks, or you just be like, all right, I'm gonna put this on real quick?
One of my favorite shoes is like, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm wearing the Dunks. Ever since I was little, I was been into Dunks. I always been into the brand Nike. And like I said, it's just comfortable. I'm all about like when the shoe's comfortable. I'm gonna wear like no matter what it is. And another shoe that I have also is right here. It's the Powerpuff Girls, the pink ones. As y'all can see. It's just I'm a colorway person, so I love wearing like different colors. Like I like wearing pink, green, blue, whatever. I
feel it. I've mentioned that in a couple of my videos.
Right.
That I'm not ashamed to.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed. A lot of people say pink might be too girly or whatever they call it, but at the end of the day, if you love something, you just do it. Without even like caring what other people gotta say. But like I say, it's just this is two of my favorite pairs just because I like the colors. I love green and I love pink. And that's the reason why I got these shoes,
So as you've been growing up and as you get older, what is one pair of shoes that you held on to the longest? And what was the story behind you not being able to let them go?
I don't have it with me at the moment, but one of my favorite pairs growing up has just always been the Conquers. I'm not really a Jordan person, but the only Jordans that I always just wore is like the Conquers and
the fives.
Yeah, the fives. So,
yeah.
that's literally like my favorite Jordan pair because to be honest, I never really owned Jordans my whole life. I just never was into Jordans. I wanted to be different. That's why, I kind of stuck to Dunks. But like I said, just Conquers is my favorite. And that's the reason why I got those. And that's the only pair of Jordans that I ever owned too. Because like I said, I'm not into Jordans and shit. So that's why, I got the Conquers, but definitely the Conquers.
My dad actually used to own, I think, what was it? The Bel Airs, I think they're called.
Oh, the Bel Airs, yeah. Those are cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, he liked the fives, man.
Oh,
he wore them till he beat the hell out of them.
Right, he beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, but he loved them.
Yeah, he loved it for sure.
Do you remember the first pair you ever bought with your own hard-earned money? And what did it feel like walking out the store with a pair of shoes that you bought with your own money? Making your like when you feel like a man. You know?
Right. To be honest, my first pair I ever owned was some shoes from Payless. I don't know if Payless is still around, but I think the Shaqs. I had some Shaqs, and then that was the first pair that I ever bought, like from my own money from working. And at the time, I'm an old school person. I'm in my 30s already, so like back in the days, Payless was popular, and definitely Shaqs before all the Jordans and stuff. Shaqs was like popular at the time too, so I just bought me a pair of Shaqs all black, and then that was literally like my first pair ever that I ever bought with my own money.
Growing up in East Oakland, there's always a certain silhouette that defines the hood, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know if you've seen those memes, like the black Air Forces or the white Air Forces. Mm-hmm. So for you, what shoe would you say represents East Oakland? Like that you see every hood dude or like just everybody wearing out here?
To this day or
like to this day?
To this day, definitely black or white Air Forces, bro. Like all black, all white. Like to this day, I still see people wearing them. And, like I said, I come from the streets. I was, around the streets a lot back in the days. And people used to always wear like the black Air Forces or the white Air Forces till this day. I still see a lot of people wearing them and stuff, you know.
You know, we're both from the Bay and we're always on the move. When you're picking a pair to go out throughout the day, are you choosing based on how they'll look, or do they have to be like actually comfortable?
To be honest, like I said in the previous question, I'm about like being comfortable, and like I said, I don't really do the looks type of person. Like if I feel like it's comfortable and I could walk around anywhere with those shoes, I'm gonna definitely buy them. And I just like shoes that are comfortable. You know.
No, I feel it. Sneakers usually mark milestones. Is there a pair that you ever wore that you remember, or like that you hold on to, that makes you think of a certain event? Like, for example, when you perform your first video show or your first major video shoot, and you be like, oh, I remember that pair, and this has like a special memory to me.
Definitely, I could say, like I mentioned before, definitely the all black Air Forces, because my first event I ever went to, I was like 13 at the time. I went to a WWE event. It was a SmackDown in San Francisco at the Cow Palace. So that was literally the first shoe that I ever wore to an event. And to this day, like I said, I still see Air Forces, and it brings back like flashlights or, my first WWE event that I went to. And, like I said, it's like a legendary shoe for me. And that's something that I will never get tired of wearing. I also have like two black Air Force shoes. So, like I said, that's definitely legendary. And
how has your taste changed from being a kid in East Oakland to who you are now? Are you still chasing the same hype, or have you started looking for something different in a shoe? Like, I guess what I could say is, like, when you were little, you probably were after like, well, you said, to be honest, you didn't really like Jordans, but you probably saw everyone else wearing Jordans. So you maybe every couple of years you caught on the trend.
Right. Yeah, like I said, like back in the days, because I'm a early 2000s person. I was born in the 90s, but early 2000s, all people wore was the new Jordans. Jordan this, Jordan that, even the merch. But I wanted to be different. Like ever since I was younger, like I said, I wanted to be different, and like seeing everybody with just Jordans make me want to be like, you know what? Let me wear something different. And I don't know, you're familiar with the Creative Recreation shoes, like the old school ones, and the Fat Farms and the K-Swiss.
Oh, I've heard of K-Swiss.
Yeah, so I was definitely on that hype. It was. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of people wearing them, but it was more people on Jordan. So I'm like, you know what? Let me stick to the K-Swiss, something a little different, and the Fat Farms and the Echoes and all that. And like I say, just something that I wanted to be different.
Every collector has a grail that they missed out on, or that they had to sell when things got tight. What's one pair that you're still hunting for to this day? Like one pair that you'd be like, man, when I make it up there, I'm gonna buy that for me.
One pair that I'm kind of like, once I make it up there, I definitely want some Louis. I don't know necessarily the name, but it's like some Louis Vuittons mixed with
the Air Force One.
Yeah, I don't know. Those definitely. I want those. And they're kind of expensive, but like I said, if I ever make it that big, I'm definitely getting me a pair.
Yeah, that would be tight, man.
Those are dope. Yeah.
For the kids coming up in East Oakland right now who look at your style and your journey, what's the most important thing that they should know about building their own identity? What's some advice you would give them?
Some advice that I would give to you, definitely, like I said earlier, just do whatever you feel like is right for you. Chase your dreams. Don't let nobody bring you down. Because trust me, it's always going to be people, and especially the closest people to you. There's always going to be people that want to bring you down. They're not going to believe in you. But don't get that in front of you. Like, try to get over it and just keep doing whatever. Like I said, whatever you feel like is right for you, and yeah, just chase your dreams. At the end of the day,
Nah, you're really speaking facts, man.
Yeah.
All right.
And don't ever feel discouraged of whatever people tell you, because there's always going to be people like in your ear telling you, oh, you're done for making that decision. You're done for even trying to chase that dream. You're not going to make it. And like I said, just kind of learn how to curve it, and then just keep doing it, because eventually you're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for nobody else, and at the end of the day, you all you got, you feel me? So just keep doing whatever you're doing, and keep chasing your dreams.
Yes, sir. So let me transition real quick to a different kind of set of questions. These are going to be about from how you became a musician to like kind of a comedian.
Right.
So I got a few questions about that. Like, they say the funniest people usually come from the toughest places. How did growing up in East Oakland help you develop your comedic timing? Like, your ability to find humor in the struggle. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, how did growing up out here help you develop like to what you're doing right now, like making these funny videos or like certain things that only people like from the hood or like a tough neighborhood could relate to?
Yeah, to be honest, like I said, growing up in East Oakland, you know, everybody knows East Oakland, and they always see it as a bad place. But like, just going through so much shit in East Oakland made me the person I am today. And like I said, just seeing so much negativity throughout the years in East Oakland just made me want to, you know what? Let me switch it up a little bit. Let me, you know, make people laugh. And let me spread some positivity and show that Oakland is not just a bad place. It also has positive things, you know, and that's kind of what made me like first seeing like all the bad stuff that was going on in East Oakland made me want to like, you know what, let me switch it up. And like I said, let's just show them that we also have humor over here. We also have funny people out here. And, you know, definitely that's what made me, you know, want to do content, you know, like funny content and stuff.
Everyone has their spot. What was your go-to spot or corner store or taco truck growing up? And does that place still exist today?
Yeah, dude, I don't know if you're familiar, but it's called Guadalajara on High Street, like I don't know if it's on High Street or Fruitvale. Yeah, it's like by the train tracks. Ever since I was little, like my parents always used to take us there every Sunday. You know, after work, they'll take us there to eat. And to this day, still my favorite place. Even though a lot of people be saying tacos, you know, on 22nd, I'm not knocking their hustle, but to be honest, in my opinion, Guadalajara on High Street is the best Mexican place Oakland has. And like I said, you know, I just been going there since a kid and never disappointed. You know, I feel like every time I go there, it gets better and better every time. So I'm like, yeah, definitely.
I just went there the other day. Yeah, man. They give you big portions.
Yeah, they give you big portions, and also the flavor. Like their seasoning is always on point, and it's different. And like I said, it just tastes so good. You know, definitely. So yeah, man, shout out Guadalajara, man.
Music is always often about projecting a certain toughness, while comedy, I would say, requires a certain level of vulnerability. Was it hard for you to let go of that rapper like persona, like that tough image, to start making people laugh? You know.
To be honest, bro, it wasn't even hard. I felt like it was better for me because like ever since I was a kid, like people that know me personally from school, you know, they always knew that I was a funny kid. But till recently, like I said, I just started doing funny content like a year ago, and I feel like if I would have done this like way before even I started doing music, I feel like I could have been further. And it's not really that I had to leave music, but I feel like I had more talent doing humor and doing funny content than music, you know. And like I said, I feel like definitely doing content opened up more doors for me, and you know, I definitely saw more positive things coming my way, you know, because music was like, it's competitive, you know, in the Bay. And I feel like I didn't get the recognition I should have got. And I felt like a lot of people were supporting me more on content than they support me in music. And like I said, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I felt like, you know, content was just for me. And to this day, you know, I'm grateful for all the opportunities I got on content, you know, and I just been doing it for a year, bro. And throughout the whole year, I feel like I accomplished more things than doing music for like 13, 14 years. So that's another huge thing that plays part on my role, you know, still doing content and stuff.
Who was the funniest person back in the day growing up that if they were doing comedy with you now or like just by themselves, they would have been a hit? But like back then, like, cause you came up a little bit earlier than me and you're a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Like, was there someone growing up that you would be like, damn, bro, I love being around this dude because he's like hella positive or just hella funny, that like if he was around now,
right,
with smartphones and recordings and
right,
like all this content stuff,
right,
you think he would have been big? And do you want to mention that person?
Well, I grew up, I was not really into like watching videos or like comedians, but one comedian that I do remember that growing up, I used to watch his, I don't know if you're familiar with Cepillín. He's a Mexican clown.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah,
I think he died, bro.
Yeah, he died. So RIP. So I grew up watching him because, you know, growing up in a Mexican household, that's all they watch, just Mexican shows. And
well, that and like Chavo del Ocho.
Yeah, Chavo del Ocho, definitely. That was definitely my favorite. But like comedian-wise, it was Cepillín because he was just so funny. And I feel like now that I look at it, I'm like, damn, if I was actually doing comedy like back in the days, I probably could have had a chance to work with him. But you know, till this day, you know, I still watch his videos and stuff, and that's definitely somebody that I look up to in the comedy side.
If you could delete one stereotype that people have about growing up in the hood through your videos, which one would it be? Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you could delete one thing that people think about growing up in the hood, like, I guess one stereotype would be that everyone thinks that everyone in the hood, from the hood, is bad, and that's not necessarily true. You know, sometimes we can't control our circumstances, and where you came from does not dictate who you are as a person.
Right.
So, like, what would be, I guess, to say my question is, like, some advice?
Well, one thing I definitely will hope people just, like, I'm talking about out of towners or like people from different states. I wish more people would look at us different and stop thinking based on what they see on social media or the news about Oakland. Because like I said, Oakland is not all about negativity. It's a lot of positive things. It's a lot of communities that get together and work with each other and help build stuff. And like I said, I just wish people would look at us different, you know, because Oakland is not bad at all. Like, you might see on the news, oh, this person got killed, this person got robbed, this and that. But at the end of the day, you gotta look for yourself. Yeah, you gotta look for yourself. You gotta come out here and explore, because Oakland is just not negative. It's a lot of beautiful places you can come out here to, you know, to eat or chill, little parks and stuff like that. So like I said, you know, only the people from here will understand. And like I said, I wish people from out the way would understand that, like I said, Oakland is not bad. Like, you know, yeah, of course you got its bad spots, but like I said, you got to come out here and just, you know, just see it for yourself, and you definitely going to change your mind about that.
And now I see my boy got his merch on. Are you dropping anything soon?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out my boy Jesus, man. He just hooked me up with this shirt. I got some merch on the way. Definitely, it's going to be literally the same shirt. I'm dropping new merch next month. Yeah, man, just stay tuned for that.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yes, sir.
All right, I appreciate all the time you gave me. Thank you for answering the questions. And before we go, you think I could get a shoot, like a view a little bit further so I could show them the fit, you know, the shoes?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, come on.
All right, I'm going to show y'all the fit. Yeah, see, those were the shoes he was talking about, the Powerpuff green ones.
Yeah, the green ones, and you see the pink ones on the box. But yeah, definitely, man. Make sure y'all support the merch,
and then
man.
That's the shirt he was talking about.
Yes, sir. They coming soon, man. And shout out my boy Gerardo for the interview, man. We got a lot on the way. Stay tuned.